Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the functional trainer single arm shoulder press, and we're going to be taking a neutral grip with this specific variation. This is an incredible exercise for your shoulders, especially if you find that one shoulder is getting bigger than the other. First thing you're going to want to do is adjust your height. I would put this cable starting a little bit lower than your hips. And then your rotation arm, you want to add a 1. That way you're inside the machine and not in the middle of the gym floor. Then you want to make sure you choose the appropriate weight. Start off light. Make sure you can increase the weight every other week or so. Make sure you can do 20 repetitions before you start to increase the weight and start pushing yourself too hard. Once you do that, take a little step off to the side. That way you're not directly in front of where you're pressing from, and it's a more natural position to press from for your shoulder. And then make sure you're pressing all the way up and bringing the weight down to your chin or so. But before we continue with more tips, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
Another key thing I want you guys to think about is making sure that you're keeping the elbow nice and tucked. So you're going to notice at this angle that my forearm is at the same angle as the cable, and that's on purpose. When you start changing that angle and allowing your kind of forearm to start pointing forward or in a different direction that's not upward, then you're going to start putting an unnecessary amount of strain on your rotator cuff. So imagine if I bring the weight down lower, like all the way down to my lower chest, my forearm is going to naturally point forward. You don't want to do that. So you just want to make sure you bring it right underneath your chin and then right back up. Do not go any lower than that. It's completely unnecessary and it puts you at higher risk. Another key thing I want you guys to focus on, notice my elbows are in front of my body. So they're not off to the side too much. They're mainly in front of my body. And whenever you're doing any variation of a neutral or supinated shoulder press, I highly recommend you keep your elbows fairly forward. Another thing I want you guys to think about is also making sure that you're doing this in a slow and controlled fashion. The last thing you want to do is be using a bunch of momentum in order to move this weight. Also notice that the cable is fairly close to my face. So it's off to the side of my face, but it's still close to me. Meaning that you don't want your arm and fist to be far away from you. Because if it is, then it's going to start pulling you forward. Another thing that I want you guys to make sure you're doing is keeping your glutes tight and keeping your abs tight, because you don't want to be arching your lower back whenever you're doing a shoulder press. That's putting an unnecessary amount of strain on your spine. It's just unnecessary. So stand shoulder width, glutes very tight, and abs tight. That locks in your body and then makes it so that you're primarily focusing on working your shoulders. Here's some common mistakes that I want you guys to avoid. Half reps. Don't do that because you're going to be missing out a lot on this exercise. So in most cases, that means lower the weight. Another common mistake is pressing forward and having the cable go away from you. You want to press directly upward. And then lastly, you don't want to be using momentum when you're doing this, because that's just going to take tension away from the shoulders and put it like in other areas like your back. Also make sure you keep your chin tucked.